What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Swagcast. Today we have a amazing guest, a three-time RI state champion, a two-time NCAA Division III champion, and even a champion in judo, Joziah Fry. What's going on, homie? How we doing today?
What's up, baby? What's up, baby? Thank you for having me. Great to be here. Let's get started.
All right, so I want to dive into a couple things that I just mentioned. The first thing that I want to dive into is what really got you into wrestling / judo. Because I don't know what really came first. When I was doing my research on you, it was tough to find your judo information, but I did see that you won a couple judo tournaments back in the day as well.
Yeah. So, originally, I was just, not a good kid at all. I was just a bad kid, but not, disrespectful. I was just, I had a short temper. I'd get into fights with kids all the time. So, I would be fighting in literally pre-K. Got, just dumb stuff. So then my mom and my dad were like, we got to get this kid, somewhere to go to get, his anger out. So then we found this place called Mayo Quanchi in West Warwick. Went there. I started doing judo first, right? And at first I was I kind of fuck with this, I kind of don't. And then I let some time go in, and I built friends there and stuff like that. Like that kid Mason Clark I was just telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
He went there, so then I fell in love with the sport judo. And then after 2 years or a year of doing judo, Serge was like, hey, you should try wrestling. And I was like, nah, I don't really want to do wrestling. And he was like, just do it to help your judo out because it's going to better your judo. And I was like, all right, then I'll do it to better my judo up. So I just did wrestling 3 months out of the year, leading up all throughout throughout elementary school and middle school, until I got to high school. And that's when I really started going wrestling year round, putting everything into it.
So you really didn't focus on wrestling until high school?
Yeah.
So do you kind of thank your judo background for your ability in wrestling? Does that give you the extra boost, do you think? The
Of
fact
course.
that you did all the judo?
Yeah, 100%. Judo is my wrestling. I hit move people normally get moves hit on them all the time. The only difference is the moves I'm hitting, you don't get those moves hit on you all the time. These are straight judo moves that no one's seen before. So no one knows how to react to it. No one has to defend it, and that's where I think a lot of my success from.
Yeah, I did actually watch a TikTok today of you teaching. I can't remember what the throw was called, but it was definitely a judo throw where you just kind of grabbed the wrist and just kind of twisted your shoulders, and Mans was on his back real fast. So did you do any other sports growing up, or was it just kind of judo and then wrestling?
No, I did a bunch of sports. I did football. I did soccer, gymnastics for a little bit, dance for a little bit, stuff like that.
You did gymnastics and dance as well?
Yeah, I did gymnastics and dance. Again, I did gymnastics just because Serge, again, it's going to better your judo if you do some gymnastics. And I was like, whatever. And a bunch of the kids from the club were doing it. So I was like, I hopped on it, and it actually worked. I got mad flexible from it, and benefits me for wrestling too.
Yeah, absolutely, and dance as well because of footwork.
Yeah, that's yeah. I work footwork a lot, but dance definitely helps.
So growing up in Rhode Island, you definitely seem like you got a boost from Mayo Quanchi and things like that. But were there any other camps and things like that you really found yourself diving into growing up in Rhode Island? Because we have a lot of wrestling programs out here.
I mean, I kind of Mayo Quanchi is the home base, right? Our representation of Mayo Quanchi. I love Mayo Quanchi, has my heart and soul. But I did go to camps. I went to this one Smitty's Barn camp before NHSA Nationals. And that camp was that camp was a wicked hard camp, and I thank myself for going there because it wasn't just Smitty's Blonde kids; it was kids from all over Rhode Island. I just went to this one camp and all got each other better for the national tournament, and I thought that was pretty cool because that doesn't happen a lot. Well, at least when I was coming up in wrestling, the best kids from all of New England didn't go to like one place and just wrestle together. And that was one time like we all did, and that was pretty cool. I like that a lot. Also, before Fargo, me and my friend Mason went to Oklahoma and trained for a week with our. I don't know if you ever heard Tate Piccolo. He wrestles over at Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Tate and Ken Piccolo. We met them through judo, and Oklahoma has a very what's the word to put it? Developed wrestling program for freestyle and getting their guys good for Fargo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to experience that, so I went over there and like they had every guy in their region, all the best guys in the region, in one huge room, just wrestling, getting ready for freestyle. And I was like, wow, like if we had them sit down, that'd be sick. It's like all the best guys. I'm wrestling with all the best guys, not guys just from like my club or my high school team, like every single buddy. And it was just like it really opened my eyes up to like how the other states do it.
Yeah.
Also, like guys, just if we're talking local,
Mm-hmm.
always worked with like Steven Jarrell and Jawan. They were JO wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Always worked with them. Always got me better. This Giblin, he coached the Blue Wave Wrestling, which is Hope Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, Steve Giblin.
Yeah, he was
That's
also
my
a big
cousin.
part. Yeah.
Cousin Steve.
Sean Giblin, my bad. Sean Giblin.
Oh, yeah, wrong Giblin.
Yeah, Sean Giblin is the guy that I would go with, and he would always train me, get me good.
Mm.
And honestly, a bunch of guys around here. Where I'd practice in the Brown Room sometimes. I mean, a lot of times for Fargo practices. What Tyler Grayson, he got me really good. Just a bunch of people got. Rhode Island has a really strong wrestling community, so like I was able to get good from like a lot of different people, a lot of like looks.
For sure. When I was coming up, there was a lot of gatekeeping in like certain programs.
Yeah.
But like as like things went on, a lot of like different clubs and programs opened up that really allowed like everybody to come through. Now you have 3 high school state championships and 4 finals appearances. Walk me through adjusting into high school wrestling, because you said you didn't really take wrestling seriously until high school. So walk me through walking through the doors as a freshman and just absolutely dominating the mats, like from freshman to senior year. Like, what was your mentality? What was the training? Like, what was the process? Did you have any wild feuds throughout your high school career?
Yeah. So walked in my freshman year. I was playing football, right? Thought I was like this big football dog, and I was doing it like I was playing in the varsity with the varsity during practice. I went to go up to a catch, and I got hit, and I broke my collarbone. So it took me out for like the whole season until like a month and a half before states. That's when I was cleared to wrestle. So my freshman, I didn't wrestle at any tournaments my freshman year besides states, and I just wrestled that to get me into to wrestle at states because you need a certain amount of matches.
Mm-hmm.
That freshman year was honestly hard for me because like I was out of training for a while, and then I had a month and a half to train for the state tournament. So like, and like I had a month, not even just a month and a half to train for the state tournament, but a month and a half to adjust to high school wrestling and figure out what it's all about and stuff like that. So that was like very difficult for me at first. I took a couple losses, even at dual meets. Like I was losing my freshman season like a good amount, and it just I wasn't used to that because like I was like throughout middle school I was dominant, like didn't lose ever, just taking out everybody. So it definitely was kind of hard for me, but at the same time it made me like, all right, like this is not happening. Like I'm not losing it. So I started working OD hard, and then just got like really good. So then I started like we had freshman states before real states, and freshman states, I just like that was like the first time I just like let loose and went crazy, and I won freshman states, and then that like got me like pretty confident. Then we go to the state tournament. I'm pretty much like waxing people through the state tournament, doing like good pinning, teching through, and I get to the finals and I'm like, all right, I got this. And like everyone's been talking about it the whole year, like, all right, this kid Andrew found like he's wicked good, and I respected him and I was like, yeah, I respect this kid, and like we have friends of friends, so like I was always like, yeah, this kid's like a cool kid, like no beef or anything, but like I want to get this win. And I went in there. We did good. I remember this match too. Like first period, it was 0-0. Second period, I think I stood up, got a point, and then he got in a shot. I mean, I crossed my legs. And I got a penalty point against me, so it was 1-1.
Yeah.
And I started getting nervous. Like I got dumb antsy. I was like, no, like if he stands up, he wins the match. So I started crazy, just like wrestling terrible. And then he took me down, and I stood up. Then I think third period he stood up, and then that's how the match ended. I was trying to chase takedown. I couldn't get the takedown, but that was that. And then freshman year, I didn't place at New England's. I got taken out pretty badly, and I was just from there. I was like, wow, like I'm not like I do not want this, because in judo, like my freshman year in judo, I was in the world team. So I was good at judo. Like I was really good at judo, and so after that, I was like, I'm gonna get as good as wrestling as I am in judo.
Yep.
So then my sophomore year, I was battling 2 out because I'm still on the world team for judo my sophomore year, right? But I'm also like trying to be a really good wrestler. So then my sophomore year, I win states pretty much like wicked easily. I think I like teched everybody through and then maybe majored in the finals. And then for New England, same thing, like beat everyone pretty badly. And then in the finals, I lost in overtime by a super secret ride out to Hunter Adrian. And for judo, I placed like third at that year. I placed third at Pan Am's. At Worlds, only lost to the world champion. Like that's the only kid I lost to when I fought at Worlds. Won the U.S. Open. So like I had really success in judo, but I also had success in wrestling because I just won states, got second at New England's, and now like people tell me that college is gonna start looking at me. So then I had a choice to make. There was like you could either stay in judo and keep doing and try to make a Olympic team, or you could go the wrestling route and try wrestling D1 in college. And I was, all right, listen, like I love judo and yeah, judo's fun and all, but like it wasn't like a high school sport. Like wrestling's a high school sport, so like it drew me in because I made a lot of friends through wrestling, and then like also I was making friends throughout the whole entire state through wrestling. So I was like, I gotta go at wrestling. Like it's giving me connections. It's also gonna help me get into college. Like that's the road I gotta choose. So then I went dumb hard my junior year for wrestling. Like I started winning crazy stuff. Like I won states again, became a 2-time, won New England's, won NHSA nationals, won like a bunch of these like off-brand national tournaments like War of the Shore nationals, Reno nationals. Got 5th at Fargo, got 3rd at Super 32. Like I just had a year. I mean, not 3rd. I got 7th at Super 32, and I won Journeyman. I just had a year. Like I had a year. I was on top, and that's when like a bunch of colleges started hitting me up and stuff like that. And like I was like, wow, like this is actually happening. And then my senior year, I committed to Campbell. Won states again. I got 4th at New England's, but that was like in the semifinals. I had that kid Hunter Adrian that beat me in the finals that 1 year, and like everyone knew like me and him should have been the finals match. So after I lost that match, I was just like my head was bad, and I lost another kid that like would never ever beat me again in his life ever. But I lost to him, and that's why I got 4th.
That's how it happens sometimes, though.
Yeah.
A tough loss will really bring you. So this Hunter guy, was he kind of like you only ever faced him in New England's, or did you ever see him in nationals?
No, I've never seen him at national. We were in the same Fargo and Super 32 bracket, and I placed at those tournaments and he didn't. But every time we only faced in New England's, and he would take me out. I beat that kid ever. I respect him. He's good.
So now moving on after senior year, New England's and all of your national titles, then you committed to Campbell, and you go to Campbell and you redshirt your freshman year. So now I'm always confused by the term redshirting. Does that mean you wrestle no matches at all and you just kind of like spectate?
No, redshirting means you can't wrestle any matches under Campbell. So I couldn't wrestle no dual meets, no for no nothing like that. I can only wrestle at open tournaments, and an open tournament is open to everybody.
Okay.
That's why they're called opens. Like at the beginning of the year, you always hear tournaments called open, 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 because
Mm-hmm.
it's like where the high school kids get to wrestle in it, and like maybe take out college guys, or like
Mm-hmm.
the red shirts get to wrestle in it and take out like big names that like
Mm-hmm.
you think that out. So I was a redshirt my freshman year, but it was also COVID, so I didn't get to wrestle at all, like anybody, and like it was like barely anyone got to wrestle. Even like the varsity guys got like little to no matches, and like the national tour was like only like open to a few people. Like the Ivy League didn't go to it or nothing like that. So didn't get to wrestle much my freshman year. But my sophomore year, which was like my freshman year of wrestling, my sophomore year academically, I got to wrestle and I did good. I got third at one tournament, one open, and I got first at another.
And did you wrestle? That's you're wrestling for Campbell your sophomore year?
Yeah, I was wrestling for Campbell.
Okay. So were you varsity or were you junior
No,
varsity?
I was junior
Okay.
I was a backup.
Oh, okay.
But the kiddo that was in front of me was the SoCon regional champ, like two times in a row, and like he was
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. And I lost to him by a point in the wrestle off, but like we would go back and forth a lot, me and him during practice. But he had seniority over me, so they started him.
Mm-hmm. So now your junior year was the first year you wrestled for JWU.
Yeah.
So kind of explain to me what kind of like inspired the transfer from Campbell to JWU.
Well, so what initially proud the transfer from Campbell to JO was I just Campbell wasn't good for me. Like I wasn't doing good over there. Like I got into like a little bit of trouble. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I transitioned from Campbell to JWO. So like I could like just get better and get on top of my grades a little bit more, and just like be like get like wrestling a little bit more, be home, have like the Rhode Island community behind me like I do now.
Does it help being home, like being where you're from versus being away to really like focus on wrestling?
Um, Definitely yeah, because I feel like I have more places to go, like more people to go to, like more partners to get at. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I can go to the Brown Room and wrestle with those guys. I could wrestle with the Rick guys anytime I want. I can wrestle with the JU guys. I can wrestle with the best like high schoolers. I can go to a bunch of different places to get good looks in, and I could also wrestle with connections for all these coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So like it definitely gives me just like, and this is me personally, because like I'm a big figure in the round world, so like I get to go like a lot of places. I'm friends with a lot of the coaches, so I feel like me personally, it's definitely better for me to focus on wrestling here.
Yeah. Not you're not just a big dog in Rhode Island either, because I have a wrestling friend that's also a content creator in New York. That when I said I was interviewing you for a podcast, he was like, "Bro, he is a dog." He wrestled up at Anienta University.
Oh yeah,
And the second I said your name, he was like, "Oh, bro, he's a fucking animal." So now, how did you adjust into the switch to JWU? Because your first year wrestling for JWU, you took home a national title. So like,
yeah.
kind of walk me through that transition and how you end up a national champion your first year.
So, all right.
All right, so we had left off on how do you adjust into you were just wrestling D1 and now you're adjusting into a new school and you're D3 now. How
Yeah.
do you adjust into the different wrestling and become a national champion your first year?
Honestly, like the cold hearted truth was Lonnie tried to get me when I was a junior and senior.
I just was one of those kids that was like going D3. Like I'm too good to go to wrestle D3, right? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So when I went D3, I instantly knew I was gonna I'm gonna dominate all these kids. Like me myself, I'm too good to wrestle D3, and the fact that I'm going to wrestle D3, there's no one here that's going to beat me. Not a single person is going to even touch me. But like that's my mindset. But that's like that was the mindset I had, but that's not like the right mindset to have because like after spending this year at J Wolf, I realized like D3 wrestling is good. Like there's kids out there that are actually good,
Mm-hmm.
and like a lot of D1 guys do drop down here, and it's like it's good, but it's more relaxing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you have to wait. It's not like a job where it takes up all your time. It's like you could have a little bit of a social life, you could have fun, and still do something that you love. You could wrestle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it made me definitely like have a different type of love for wrestling. Like I have a more of a love for wrestling right now than I ever did. That's because like I get to enjoy wrestling right now. Like I'm enjoying wrestling right now. It's fun.
So is that more because you're able to, and you're also in Rhode Island,
Yeah,
which is the state you grew up in, so you have your friends around you, so it makes
yeah,
it a little bit easier to have a social life as well because you don't have to go out making new friends. Um
yeah,
so with all of that, that overall makes it easier to train and to eat right and to do everything you're supposed to do. So now, what in the wrestling room led you to becoming a two-time national champion? Like I know you put all of this work in and you work so hard and you have this great mentality that like I
yeah,
belong in D1, so why wouldn't I be a D3 champion? But there
yeah.
are dogs that be lurking in D3.
Uh-huh.
You even said it yourself, and I see it all the time as a guy that tries to keep my eyes on every division. Were there any really tough roads that really made you think, holy shit, I really have to stop and think so I can beat this guy?
Yeah. My 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 first years, there was this kid, Zach Boise from Milliken. Dog. Me and him had a one or 2 point match, whatever it was. It was a 1 or 2 point match. Kid was good. But like at the same time, I was like, I went in that match thinking this kid's not even touching him, but attack this kid. And then I ended up having a good match with him, and like that was my first good match in my whole time wrestling at 125. My first year at J Will, and like it made me think like, wow, there's actually good kids here, and I have to like step up my game. So then after that match, like it really made me like, all right, I'm going hard. I started working crazy hard, and then pretty much blew through everyone else besides when I got to nationals. I pinned my first kid, blew poorly, but I faced him early on in the year, so and I already teched him, so I knew what it was. I was gonna go
Mm-hmm.
out here, take this guy easy. Boom, pinned him first period. I'm like, let's go. Next match, I have this kid Brady Koontz, and I hear he's like another D1 kid that dropped down. He was pretty good. So like in my head, I was like, all right, I got this. Like this kid's good, but like I know I'm better. And we had a good match. I only beat him by 1 point, and I was like, but I honestly think I respected him too much. But that's just me. I think I could beat that kid way more. Like I could beat him like by tech or pin. Like I just respected him because he was a D1 kid that dropped down. And, like I was like, I'm a good D1 kid that dropped down. So I just gave him too much respect.
Mm-hmm.
There's in the semifinals, I'm facing this kid Christian Guzman. All respect to Christian Guzman, dog. But me, I'm thinking I'm a junior. This kid's a freshman. He's not touching me. I'm a D1 drop. I was D1. I'm dropping down. I was like, I'm gonna tech or pin this kid, and there's nothing that's gonna happen right now. I went out there and I teched him. I was about business, like about business. And then finals match, I have this kid Christian Decatur. All respect to Decatur, good kid, wrestles good, but he's a staller. I knew he was gonna try stalling and get a lucky shot with a little elbow pass shoot, something like that. And I was like, I just gotta block that. He caught me with it. Caught me with the elbow pass, blocked it, took me down. I was like, fuck. But then I remember in my head, I was like, well, what did you study? He's a staller. So I kept putting the pressure to him. Boom, boom, 2 stall calls. Then, so I said, well, let's go over the match first, like by period by period. First period, I got a stalling call, 0-0. Second period, I stand up. Now it's 1-0 and Decatur has a stalling call.
Mm-hmm.
But he takes me down. So now it's 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
I stand up, it's 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Third period, he chooses bottom. Third period, he chooses bottom. And I ride him out the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the riding point. So now I think it's 3-2. I think, but he got a stalling call or something like that because the final score was 4-2. So he must have got a stalling call again or somewhere in there. So the final score was 4-2. Rode him out the whole third period. Won my first national championship, and it was like such a relief because I was like, I knew I was better than every kid here, and like I put in OD work, like not just like, oh, I'm working hard at practice. No, I'm going to the gym. I'm running, I'm doing crazy recoveries, ice baths, like everything you can need. Foot massages, go and get actual massages, going to the chiropractor, get my back cracked, and like my neck cracked, my body feeling good, eating the right supplements, stuff like that. So first year was definitely a relieving year. I think like, all right, like I'm the best here. Like knowing that I'm the best somewhere is like was very relieving, very satisfying, and like all the hard work wasn't for nothing. I put in the work and I got to the goal. I got my goal.
How did you celebrate the national championship?
Oh, I was lit. I hugged my coaches and then I did a round up backflip. Then looked to the crowd because the Geo crowd was right there. Showed my hands. Had to show love to my boys, and then walked off the mat. Got to see my mom, my abuela, my aunt. Hugged them. Went and did the national interview.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great feeling. Loved it. The first year at J was definitely a special year, and I'll always remember it.
So coming back after winning a national championship and now this is your senior year of academic but junior year of competition, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so now you're coming back as a junior for competition and you are a one-time national champion.
Yeah.
Does that make it a little bit easier to the road to your second national championship? Was it just as hard? Was it harder because you had a target on your back now?
It made it less stressful, honestly, because like I knew I was the best, and I knew like I'm not losing again. I did it. I already did it. So like I was like the confidence, like I was just overly confident. I think this year I was like I'm like there's no one that's gonna touch me. I already beat everybody, so I know I'm in everyone's head. Everyone's looking at me. Everyone's been watching me, and they can't like I do the same thing. I rush it every time, and no one could block it. So I'm like I'm gonna just keep doing it. I did it to every single person, every single kid in the top, the top 10, top first, the top 10. I rushed them, took them down. No one defended it. So I'm like, obviously, I'm just gonna keep doing that. So the confidence was there, like less stress was because it wasn't like all right, can I really do this? Can I really win? It was like, I already did it. I'll do it again.
Mm-hmm. So now you already did it. You're a two-time national champion. You're, I'm sure, chilling out until your senior year of competition. Do you think because there's gonna be no academics with it, I believe, because this is your last year academically, right?
No, there's gonna be academics with that.
Oh, there will be education. Okay, so it's not gonna be just strictly training. I thought it would just be strictly training, but obviously you think you're gonna win a third national championship.
Of course, and not only do I think it, I'm gonna. It's in Providence next year. The crowd's on my side. And have all like my like community support there from all over Rhode Island, New England.
Mm-hmm.
All my family's gonna be there. Like I'm just really like I perform. I'm a Buddha. I'm a performer. I perform good like when like under pressure, no matter the crowd. Either the crowd's on my side or not on my side. I just like I like being in the spotlight. I like performing in front of a lot of people. So, like, and next year it's gonna be like the arena's gonna be packed.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like we're a pretty populated city, and it's like Like the last 2 years, it hasn't even been a populated city like that. This is an actually populated city where like Rhode Island's getting so big at wrestling, and like the New England states are getting so big at wrestling. We have New York, New Jersey right there. Like it's just gonna be so many people coming because everyone's gonna want to watch.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be packed up. I had no idea it was going to be in Providence, but I would definitely
Yeah.
be there.
At the
So
American,
now, what were you going to say?
it's at the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's definitely going to be packed out. So before I get into what's going to be after wrestling, do you have any like descriptions for the differences between Division 1 wrestling and Division 3 wrestling?
Division 1 wrestling is just honestly the pace they have. Because the constant lifts, they have to do the constant like conditioning practices, the intensity in the room. It's just the pace. So
Mm-hmm.
there's D3 guys that take out D1 guys all the time.
Mm.
It's just the pace they have. If you're a D3 guy and you train dumb hard and you have that pace where you can go long distances where you're nonstop wrestling, you're gonna take out a D1 guy because you have it. Like this year, I took a loss, but I beat like a bunch of D3 guys. I beat a bunch of D1 guys. I went to the Princeton Open this year. And I
Mm-hmm.
got second, only losing to Luke Stanich, which he All American this year. He beat Matt Ramos in the blood round.
So you're already wrestling D1 guys. Now, coming out of wrestling, you do have 1 year left, but do you have any like goals after the college wrestling? Do you kind of want to try to get into the Olympics? Do you want to go back to judo? Do you want to maybe start training MMA? Do you already do like I know you probably still go to Mayo Quanchi a lot and still like stay in training with judo, but do you ever focus on any striking or anything? Because especially with the new addition to the UFC of Bo Nickel, we see that wrestlers have always been on top for MMA. So
Yeah.
what do you really see you what direction do you want to take after college wrestling?
Well, so I've always been like just training my hands throughout like high school and like just messing around with training my hands, stuff like that. But recently, last year, I took it serious. I started like really going, really trying to box, like going to a bunch of different places to box and stuff like that. And then I was doing jiu-jitsu a lot at BGT, this place called Brazilian Top Team up in Taunton,
Mm-hmm.
Mass. Mondays, Wednesdays, and I'm starting that back up again. Again, now that wrestling season's over, I already talked to the coach. He wants me to bring a bunch of the JBO guys up every Monday and Wednesday to do no gi jiu-jitsu, and then after like the practice is done, everyone just spars. So it's like you put the gloves on, you put your shin pads on, and you spar. And I've been doing that. I went to this place Lausanne in the summertime, which is another sparring spot. Uh, Obviously the gym I train at, which is Rockstar. They always get me good sparring sessions
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while. Like I'm trying to train with those guys. So now that the season's over, we're about to get right back into where you left off before season. Start going to my regular padding sessions and stuff like that. Get in the 11 a.m. spar sessions and stuff. So I'm definitely taking the MMA route. I already been training, been planning for it.
So now going into MMA, it'll be like probably another 2 years before you start actually fighting it. Do you have a preferred weight for MMA at the moment?
I'm gonna go 125, and I'm gonna get a professional fight in the second I get out of wrestling.
A professional fight the second you get out of wrestling? You're
Yeah,
not
like
gonna do you're not
when I
gonna do any
graduate.
amateur first?
No, well, actually, I tried to get an amateur fight this August.
Oh, okay.
But last August, I'm sorry, last August.
Mm-hmm.
I actually I was about to have a fight, and but the kid didn't want to do a MMA fight. He wanted to do he went and did a grappling match or whatever instead. But I was supposed to have a fight in August, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm still active. Like if I could, the only thing I'm gonna do in high school right now is take amateur fights. If I can find it, if there's someone out there that wants to do an amateur fight at me at 125, I'm taking it right away. But sadly, Rhode Island and New England doesn't have like a lot of good fighters, and like I fought with most of the good fighters, and like I'm there with them. So I think if I can get an amateur fight in right now, I'm gonna do it. But once I graduate, I know like I'm gonna be on top. I'm gonna dominate the 125 pound MMA. At least for everyone around here, I'm gonna dominate. Maybe if they want me to, I'll do some amateur in like a hot state for MMA, like Florida or California or something like that, where MMA is hot. I'll go and take amateur fights there. But I think I'm gonna probably go pro right away. Be in the top of like all them 125 guys around here, then fight around like New York, New Jersey, then work my way to like Florida, California, start fighting like the best guys, and then try to get on to like hopefully like the UFC or Bellator or something like that.
Well, I believe Bellator is owned by PFL now. The three major organizations are like One, UFC, and PFL. But either way, that would be fire, and I could see that you're already the level to be pro. I just always thought the road to do it was to amateur fight, but if you were to skip amateur fights and go right to pro, that would just prove how much of a dog you are. And you definitely have the mentality to add to like the 125 division, which I feel like it's really missing. A
Yeah,
lot of people feel like the 125ers are kind of boring because they're just smaller. They're not known for hard hitting guys, but you talk the talk and you definitely for sure walk the walk as well. And I can see because of the judo and the wrestling, and you tell me the jujitsu. You kind of remind me of Mighty Mouse, just a little bit. Demetrius
yeah.
Johnson. Like I
I
could
always
see
thought of
you
myself
trying to hit a
more of
flying
like
amba.
yeah. I always think of myself more of like a Khabib. Like even like when I get like if I was to get into a fight now, like I know so much wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Well, judo is jiu-jitsu once you get to the ground.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't know that. So I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was like in the first grade. So and then like now that I'm actually going to jiu-jitsu classes and stuff like that, like judo is jiu-jitsu. So I've been doing it for first grade, but like it's called judo. It's not called jiu-jitsu. But with this like last year, I actually started doing jiu-jitsu, which is like it's the same thing, just
On the
you can't
ground.
throw somebody.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, you can't throw somebody. That's literally the only difference.
Yeah, no, even at my jiu-jitsu gym, we train a lot of judo on different days and stuff like that. Did I lose you again?
But
What's good? All right.
I would say you can't throw it and win. But
What'd you say? You're cutting out a little bit.
if this jiu-jitsu, like throw it and jiu-jitsu, yeah. Tournament. Last summer I did my first tournament. I'm not a blue belt, but division. I won Nogi Angi.
All right, you're starting to come back in. I all I caught was you're not a blue belt and something about gi and no gi.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you decently. It's still cutting
Man,
in and out a little bit.
so no. Sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Let me know when you're good.
Uh, Try to talk again.
You,
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. All right. It was just weird. Like the connection was coming back in.
yeah, my phone's a piece of shit.
Nah, you're good.
So what I was saying is, in judo, if I throw you, I win. In jiu-jitsu, if I throw you, I gotta go down you and choke you. But I
Mm.
did my first jiu-jitsu tournament last summer, and I fought in blue belt, but I'm not a blue belt. I fought in blue belt, and I fought gi and no gi, and I won both the divisions in Boston.
You're a white belt?
Yeah, I'm a white belt.
How many stripes?
None. I have no stripes. I'm just a white belt. I'm a I'm a black belt in judo though.
Yeah, and you're a deadly wrestler. So you're gonna most likely move up like in the jiu-jitsu belts rather quickly the more you compete and the more that you prove that you can do it. And like coming from wrestling, my jiu-jitsu game is really trying to I like to end up on top because of the wrestling background. Do you kind of find yourself doing similar, like going for the takedown, trying to get mount and doing all from top, or are you a guard guy?
You know, I was honestly just trying to throw kids. I was just trying to throw them, and then once I got on top of them, I would smother their face because I was wrestling such like a it's wrestling's more intense sport.
Yeah.
So I would just put the pressure to them like OD, and they're not used to that. They're used to like going kind of slowish, getting things
Going
down,
with the
and
flow.
I was just smothering them, and I was like literally just like suffocating them with my chest and like my arms and stuff like that. And that's how I'd get in the tap out. And then like a couple headlocks, like I was down there headlocking and just squeezed the headlock so tight that they would tap and stuff like that too. And then I won a couple of matches off just points, just being able to get to their back, get their back.
Mm-hmm. Which is definitely, I feel like back taking comes easier because that's what wrestlers have trained since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Now, have you been learning more submissions and different types of things now that you've been focusing on jiu-jitsu and the other martial arts more?
Yeah, I have, but I definitely second. I definitely think are you saying like is wrestling the best background to have for martial
Yes.
arts?
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of.
100%. And with the judo, wrestling and judo, it's unbeaten. It's
Yeah,
unbeaten.
yeah, no, for sure. So now going into MMA and having all of the backgrounds and starting to train all of the new arts, you said you compare yourself to Khabib, so you see yourself just kind of you're gonna be the guy that just shoots the takedown and goes for the ground and pound, like you said in the jiu-jitsu, you just kind of smother people. Are you just gonna be
I don't want,
smothering and
yeah,
going for the
like
kill?
sometimes I might stand and bang, but like I've been doing wrestling my whole life. So what do you think I'm gonna do? You think I want to box you? Like I'm trying to get out here, get nothing on my face. I'm trying to go out here blood free and get paid. So I'm gonna go out there, take him down, choke him out, ground and pound him to knockout stoppage, and that's it.
Okay, so real quick before we get out of here, because we've been going for almost 50 minutes. Um, you have one more year of wrestling, so one more nationals, and it's in Providence. Uh, are you definitely gonna win it?
Of course, like I say, like I get confidence. Like my confidence is off the roof. Now it's in Providence. Like I said before, I do good under pressure. Like I like the pressure, I like the spotlight. So when like especially because it's gonna be in my city. Like I don't have my whole community there, my family there. Like that's what's gonna make me go really crazy. Like I love when I see people in the stands that I know and that have seen me wrestle my whole life and being able to like demonstrate like, yeah, we've worked together and like this is what you created. Like I'm a product of you. I'm a product of like all the people that's ever helped me in my life, and they're all gonna be there. So I get to fight, like I get to wrestle in front of them in person. So I'm gonna show out for all of them, and like having them there is gonna make me even show out even more. Because like you said, I like the pressure. I like when people are watching me, especially people that I've trained my whole life. They're gonna be able to, they're watching me. I'm gonna go crazy in front of them. I'm gonna show out crazy next year. Like this year, like people thought I did good this year. Like next year, I'm gonna go insane. Like I'm gonna pin through the whole national tournament. Not like first period pin every single person.
Well, I love the confidence. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I appreciate the conversation. We had a great talk. Good luck at all of your future competitions. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on you. Is there anything you want to shout out? Your Instagram account, any other social media pages before we get out of here?
I mean, you guys can follow me on Insta, Joziah Fry. You can see all my wrestling videos, all that stuff. I post a lot of content about wrestling. So if you ever want to see like some cool flips or stuff like that, oh boy.
All right. And make sure you smash that subscribe button if you have not already. We're also live on Twitch every single day. New episodes of the Swagcast every Wednesday. And we will see y'all next week. Peace.